Everything has an update. Yay. Oh, there it is. Hello, hotel. God, I haven't turned on XSplit in like 3 weeks. But what about the audio balance? I'm sure it's all bad. Oh, nope, it's right. Hello. I just interviewed for Harvard. So that was a thing. Is there anything to do in Sims Online? No, there's not. There never is. Same as always. Had my interview today. And that was... It was good, I guess. It's always very stressful. I felt like there was going to be a lot more grilling on science than there actually was. No, this is me. It's live, but live with content you don't want to see. For example, you can watch me play The Sims Online again and then realize, oh, it's not actually that fun. Did they get rid of the spring event with all the random crap? Yeah, that's not it, is it? Womp womp. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. You know, if I end up getting this PhD at some point and then working at Harvard, that would be pretty novel. Although I kind of, there's a lot of money in there. Kind of want to stay working with all the psilocybin stuff. Which I find really interesting. Both from a perspective of like, oh yeah, it worked. Science worked out. It's kind of like the new big thing. But also, I had a whole bunch for myself, so... You know, there's like a connection to it that I generally don't have with a lot of the stuff that I research. Oh, it's broken. My rolling in Skrilla. Yeah, absolutely. That's actually why I haven't been streaming. I just have piles of money in the way of everything. Oh, I wanna load up XSplit, but there's just this pot of money in the way. Did Code Blue come true? Wait, did I already open all this? I guess I did. Well, I've opened up everything in this lot. Check off 9/10 of the things that I do in this game off the list. Open up the McDonald's, open up the gambling, wonder why everything is broken, have a new idea to build something but not any money, lather, rinse, repeat. And I feel like there's another stand that I haven't opened, but I guess there's not. I thought this, like, list of NPCs went onto the second list, but I guess not. I've been alright, I guess. I've been busy. Oh my god. We've had to move the entire lab. Decades of crap to another part of the building because they're renovating. And that's a hassle. You know, it's been all that. It's been a bunch of various things for the psilocybin project based on either the stuff that I've been involved with clinically for the clinical trials or, you know, the paper itself coming out. Office migrations are so fun. Now I have my fun little electrophysiology nook in the new department. Got my recording rigs, I wired everything up, I plumbed it all with the tubing, got my busted ass vibratome in the corner. It's funny because that vibratome has a speed setting and we've had to increase it slowly over the years because it is just breaking and getting slower and slower. And soon it's just going to be at a point where you can't make it go any faster, but it's still too slow. Tell my boss how much work I have on my desk. Well, I had to move my desk too, so that doesn't really help. StereotoneTim. Yeah, there you go. Let's go into business together. Substandard hotel's looking more flux than usual. Yeah, well, now that it's not winter anymore, I guess they don't have the constant, like, snowfall animation. And there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do in the substandard hotel. I don't know why I turn on The Sims Online as if, oh, today is the magical day where I will find something new that I haven't done in this game yet. It's not. I was thinking, oh, at least I can see what they have for any sort of, like, community, item, raffle, roulette, whatever. And they don't have that. It's not running anymore. So, I don't know. You know, it's like periodically I think about playing City Skyline again, or Skylines. More than one. But there's just nothing else to do. Like, I don't know. At a certain point, you've just built everything. You know, I've built the #1 hotel, casino, health spa, cat cafe, dad cafe, mortician, Barnes & Noble, mayor's office, anthropology, vet store, business center. Like 1,000 other things. It's done. Like, lonely at the top. You know, it does have events. Final Fantasy XIV. Oh, no. Don't make me play that again. Get to spend more real dollars on fake clothing. I probably should, actually, play it. It's more than likely a tiny bit more rewarding than this.
Could spend real dollars on real clothing.
I look at all of my empty jam stations and suffer a little on the inside every time. None of this brings any joy, from the empty jam stations to the bad toilet to the clown painting. None of it. Like, I don't, I don't know what to do in The Sims Online. I don't know what to do with my time in general. Because I was thinking, oh yeah, I haven't streamed in a bit, I should turn this on. Between attempts at unsuccessfully calling my pharmacy for refills. And it's like, yeah, I could turn on RetroArch and play Puyo. Or Paneled Upon, like I've beaten Ghouls and Ghosts on 1 credit, so I don't have to do that ever again. So I probably should just play Final Fantasy XIV. Congrats on the paper. Thanks! Oh yeah, that's out now, isn't it? Fun times. I regret to inform you that I am actually a real scientist. I know, it's shocking to me too. God, I did so much work on this paper. $86. Let's see, is this scroll in? Ta-da! You took a look, but it made no sense to you. Okay, well, it'll make sense. Because one of the authors is here to explain it. So, essentially, people have thought that levels of serotonin have a lot to do with depression and antidepressants and all that good stuff. You know, and that's sort of the basis of all the antidepressants and everything that we've used so far. So then we were looking at psilocybin, which... How do I... Let's back up, actually. So, depression was thought of as a condition as, you know, something that results from reduced levels of serotonin or other monoamine neurotransmitters in various nerve terminals and synapses. And, you know, traditional serotonergic antidepressants predominantly work by antagonizing certain serotonin receptors or preventing reuptake of serotonin, ultimately producing more serotonin in the synapse and more serotonergic signaling. But the problem with those is that, like, A, they don't work super great, because I've tried like 8 of them. And B, you know, it's using your own endogenous serotonin, and whatever kind of serotonergic signaling you're getting is all as a product of what you're putting out. And that's, you know, half a factor of your brain and also half a factor of how well the drug has been titrated up to any kind of clinical level. But psilocybin metabolizes into psilocin, and psilocin is essentially serotonin. So it activates all those serotonin receptors with, you know, this exogenous compound. So essentially, if SSRIs make you less depressed by promoting serotonergic signaling with, you know, synaptic serotonin you already have, can we kind of speed up that process by introducing psilocybin and activating a whole bunch of serotonin receptors at once, you know, at a much greater level than what you would get with SSRIs? And, you know, we did a bunch of behavioral things and found that, you know, you can, at least in this rodent model. And then what we were looking at was to see if we block the serotonin receptor, just the 5-HT2A receptor, which is the one that's responsible for all the psychedelic hallucinations and everything that you get on psilocybin. If you block that one receptor, do you still get an antidepressant effect? Or to say, essentially, you know, do you need that one serotonin receptor for psilocybin to be an effective antidepressant? And what it seems to be, you know, is that yes, you can promote serotonergic activation of a whole bunch of other serotonin receptors, but not the one that's responsible for the psychedelic trip, and still get it to work as an antidepressant. And that's kind of the basis of our project, you know, a bunch of people on Reddit I saw were commenting, oh, well, they just want to, you know, take out the psychedelic, spiritual, self-introspective bit and make it like any other kind of SSRI. And it's like, no, not really. I mean, I've done it. It was really good. You know, I can't imagine it without the hallucinations and psychedelic experience and all, but also, you know, that took up my whole day. And then I had to go in for therapy the day before and the day after, and it's like, clear your schedule for all this stuff, and if we can just sort of combine it into a therapeutic where you can block that one serotonin receptor while still hitting all the other ones, you know, that would be pretty good. And at least based on our data so far, it seems to suggest that it would be equally as effective. Yeah, and that's essentially what all this is. So, you know, you have mice at baseline, they have high preference for sucrose and female urine, which is kind of gross, but male mice like the smell of female mouse pee. As someone who's done these experiments, I personally do not like the smell of mouse pee, but I'm not a mouse. You know, because you can't really assess depression super well in animals because you can't really talk to them and they don't make therapy couches for mice. We kind of have to rely on certain reward behaviors to see if they go and, you know, pursue and seek out the things that are ostensibly pleasurable. And if they don't, then that means that they have like a depressive phenotype. So, you know, at baseline, all these groups have high reward-seeking behaviors for sucrose and female urine preferences. Following periods of chronic stress, they all decrease, so they're all technically anhedonic, where they don't have a preference for rewarding stimuli over non-rewarding stimuli. But we see that they recover in both of these assays when they're given psilocybin, and most importantly, when they're given ketanserin, which is the antagonist for the hallucinogenic, psychedelic serotonin receptor, and then psilocybin. So, you know, you still have the antidepressant effect with psilocybin alone, but also with ketanserin pre-treatment, suggesting that, you know, activation of the hallucinogenic serotonin receptor is not necessary for the behavioral actions of psilocybin. And also, it is not necessary for the synaptic strengthening effects of psilocybin, where your synapses, the excitatory transmission in your synapses gets reduced following periods of chronic stress, but then is restored following treatment with either psilocybin or ketamine or other serotonergic antidepressants. And just like we see that we have behavioral improvements following treatment with the drug, we also have improvements in synaptic strength following psilocybin treatment. And then this is all the head twitching stuff. So in people, when you give someone psilocybin, you have hallucinogenic drug trips and all. In mice, we have no way to really assess that, but if you activate the hallucinogenic serotonin receptor in a mouse, they have this head twitch, like wet dog shake behavior, and that's kind of our proxy for if the mouse is quote-unquote tripping. So, you know, you're able to reduce the amount of head twitch activity with ketanserin pre-treatment. Animals that either get psilocybin and don't have a lot of head twitches because they were prevented with ketanserin, or they do have a lot of head twitches because, you know, they didn't get ketanserin, or they were these two animals that had high head twitch behavior anyway. You know, in these two groups, there's still significant recovery of behavior, you know, regardless of if the psychedelic serotonin receptor is activated. You know, which again indicates, at least from this bit of data, that you can isolate out the hallucinogenic psychedelic experience of psilocybin while still retaining its antidepressant properties. That's pretty much all this is. It doesn't have a whole lot of figures in it, but I think the finding is at least provocative enough that I find it very interesting. Also, super irritating, this got totally cut off by the data label. I was looking at this yesterday and realized, like, oh, I don't know what this even is supposed to be. This doesn't make any sense. It turns out this is 0, that's a -5, that's a -10, and that's a -15. Which you can't see because it's all covered up by this text box, but whatever. Whatever. Science. Hey, bad news. Like, you could do any fancy neuroscience technique you possibly could imagine, but also, like, hey, we're all still dumb, and we'll still end up, you know, falling victim to, oh, I thought that was a transparent text box. Oh, it's actually full of white, and it covers up everything, and it's just this dumb mess. You'd think, like, oh, neuroscientists, they're smart. They would not allow dumb things like this to happen. Oh, wait, they did. Yeah, the psilocybin clinical trial I was in was kind of unrelated to my own work. You know, toward the end of last year, I got frustrated with therapy, which wasn't working. I got frustrated with taking antidepressants, which just make my gut a mess all the time. You know, and I had just completed the manuscript for the psilocybin project that we had, and figured, you know, what the hell? They have clinical trials for this, and at least I've collected some evidence with my own hands and face, eyes, that suggests it should work. You know, and I'm tired of researching antidepressant drugs that you're not allowed to actually have. So, you know, having the opportunity to actually try something that you've done a bunch of research on was kind of interesting, and figured, you know, that lined up with me not being on any other antidepressants, and lined up with me having an interest in it. And, you know, I did it. It helped. It was fun. Now I know. Who does the drug design? So there. The problem is that technically some of this is like NDA, and other parts of it are like probably not. Maybe it's not worth getting into. I don't really know a lot of the details because my boss doesn't talk to me about a lot of it, but there are companies that are interested in making a therapeutic with psilocybin and something that blocks the hallucinations, and seeing if that works. We ended up using ketanserin in our study because it had been used in people prior, and we think that, you know, it'll allow for faster translation of the results and the experimental protocol to actual human clinical trials, where we don't have to worry about getting, you know, additional drugs approved beforehand. So we really, I think, need to see how that shakes out first. We wouldn't really be involved in any of the drug design. We're just sort of churning away data in the background for other people who are clinical researchers to pick up and run with. And, like, after we got the paper published, people in the lab who had a LinkedIn, not me, mercifully, were getting comments from various psychedelic drug companies looking to connect with us somehow, so who knows. Anyway, science. Ta-da! And it turns out you can do all that research, find some things that are vaguely interesting, and then at the end of the day you just come home and make fake jam in your fake Sims Online fake hotel. Does this mean I'm free from grad school? No, I'm not. I have to finish writing my thesis and then get my own thesis research published. And then I'll have 4 papers, which I guess is a fair amount. Oh. I have to pee too badly to make jam. I tried Lexapro. It didn't work. I don't remember what dose I was at. It is all just very frustrating, and it's very frustrating Yeah, no, have the maid make that bed. I'm not gonna do it. It's very frustrating when you're researching depression because every single time you start a paper, every single time you start a talk, any single time, or every single time you bring up what you're doing at all in context of, human health and everything, you have to start every time by saying depression is awful and miserable and ruins your life in myriad ways. And then, we have antidepressants and they're all bad. And they don't work for a lot of people. And they have a billion weaknesses and limitations and everything. And it just kind of sucks, Like, yeah, you're involved, and ostensibly things would be different in the future, but just having to sit there every time and say, like, yep, I'm screwed, I guess. I got brain rot, and the pills on the market don't work super well. So, like, have fun. So it was, honestly very exciting to be part of the psilocybin clinical trial because for once, you're getting the cool new drugs instead of just giving them to mice who don't appreciate them at all. I mean, I think my finger has finally healed after like a month after a nasty mouse bite. So, oh well. I'll have you know when they gave me psilocybin, I didn't bite anybody. Although I did bite the inside of my lip a lot, actually. So I take that back. Made my mouth weirdly numb. If I took 25 milligram per kilogram, I'd bite. Yeah, but we didn't give him that much. We gave him 1 milligram per kilogram. And I just got 25 milligrams in total, and that's like 1/3 of a milligram per kilogram. You hate when you bite the inside of your lip and it makes a bump that you bite all the time afterwards. Wow, that's a weird foot. Yeah, no, it's awful. That is one of the worst things about being alive. Like, oh, I bit my tongue. Well, that's not great. Oh no, it's swelled up and now I keep biting it over and over. Etc., etc. And then you go and just have a mouthful of miserable mouth sore lumps and blood and awful nonsense crap. Maid, make my bed. What are you doing? Part of you thinks that's not the worst thing about living, but you can't think of anything worse. Exactly! I should have done my research on that. Now that's a problem we have to solve. Wait, why can't you get into the bed? I know. I know you're sleeping. Go to the... Thank you. Do I weigh more or less than 1 kilogram? Sorry, I don't know British units. What's that in, hogsheads, barrels, drams? Can I have the maid make the bed when I'm in it? Yeah, it's me, 53 bushels. Tone Tim. Is there anything to do in this? What did I want to do? Like make a park? I already made the park. I think I wanted a picnic table in here and like There's no space for it. It's also not even that interesting. Are there any other casinos open? Oh, the Hot Date Casino. Oh, let me get my energy back up. Let's get into the brain. Let's see those dreams. Oh, there aren't any. Going through the nose like the Egyptians. Anyway, what's up, chat? I'm gonna ask the Sims Online moderators to pity kill my character. Every now and then, one of them pops into this chat, so... if they do, please ask. Give my sim a mercy killing. Finally getting vaccinated. Yay! Something, something, second shot, etc., etc. I still find it very weird that I was like one of the first few % of people in America and probably the world to get vaccinated back in like February? Early January? I don't remember. I don't remember because it's been so long ago. Just, you know, me and my antibodies hanging out, you know, doing all that good stuff. How'd I hack it again? Because they had a priority form questionnaire thing about you and the work you do and the kind of risk you're taking by being at the university and all of that. And one of the questions that put me in the high priority group was like, do you work with people or like clinical whatever, or do you work with animals? And I said, yes, I work with animals, which is true. And I don't think they meant to include that question in the same question asking, do you work with people? But they did, and I answered as honestly as I could. And that bumped up my priority a whole bunch. And then all of a sudden, I just got it. You know, they sent me an email a couple days later, like, hey, it's your turn. When did I get it? Yeah, January 26th. And I got my second shot mid-February, so I've been done with this for a while. And it's still just mind-boggling because, like, most of the time I was just not going into work or doing much of anything because of the work restrictions they had. But also high vaccination priority, so whatever. How's my 5G reception? I am legitimately disgusted in myself, just a little bit, maybe a little more than a little bit, that I even denigrated myself to make a 5G COVID vaccine joke, because at the time I thought, oh, that's kind of funny, ha, better tweet that, and everyone else who got the vaccine tweeted the same exact joke, and I hate it. It's awful. It's like, hey, guess who thought they were an individual? Not you. Enjoy making the same joke that everyone else is making, which is also not even a funny joke. But still. Hey, I got the COVID vaccine. I hope my 5G Bill Gates reception is full of adrenochrome and whatever. People generally aren't funny. Yeah. That's roughly what I think whenever I look at myself in a mirror. Am I funny today? No. That's why I decided to pursue a backup career in neuroscience. So we all know the funniest of the sciences. And then, as I mentioned when I first turned the stream on, just finished my interview with Harvard, so that's a thing. I've read so many papers from their group and other groups. I was expecting to get grilled on all sorts of science stuff, and it was just super casual. But I got the impression they didn't dislike me, so that's really all I can hope for. No, it's after the PhD for postdoc. Researching sleep and schizophrenia. Did I tell them about the intricacies of the Oregon Trail? I should have. Not only have I been researching modern neuroscience even, I have an accomplished career of frontier medicine. When all the other doctors in my field were saying, no, don't rub the snow on the frostbite, I took the unorthodox approach of rubbing snow on everything. And guess what? It worked. I'm the pioneer. The true pioneer. And I didn't even have to go to Oregon.
Rubbing snow on everything.
Have I tried the new Oregon Trail? Is that the mobile game? Because no, I haven't. I was horrified to find that they had like a new Apple Arcade Oregon Trail. Or it's why? Why are we still making these? Who's still buying modern Oregon Trail?
Does rubbing snow help to protect me against COVID?
Yes.
Why is the floor smoking? Weed is the joke. Also because it's The Sims Online, and if you don't look at something for all of like 5 minutes, it just immediately breaks. So it turns out if you don't play this game for a few weeks, everything is broken. Welcome to my mayor office hall of smoke. Oh good, I got my bars up. Now I can go and do menial work for like $80. Oh, wait. No, I made food.
There's food in the mayor's office. For anyone who cares. Which is 0 of you. But I am the mayor. And have obligations. Mayoral obligation, S. Move it, lady. Gotta do mayor stuff.
Is it fair to say the text-to-speech is the only good part of this game? It is one of the better parts of this game. Did I see the Samsung upcycling program? I saw the headline about it. I haven't actually clicked it. Anyway, what's new, chat? Oh, it's just installing the app to control your stupid smart devices. Objection, it can't be both a stupid and a smart device. Checkmate. My light bulb is either smart or it is stupid, but it cannot be both at the same time. That's just simple chaos theory. Probably. You've met many stupid smart people. Is that a dig at me? Because I'll have you know, I am mostly on the stupid side of things. You know, it's like in talking to Harvard earlier, it's just... Boy, oh boy, you guys have no idea how little I know about literally anything. Be it my own research or the world at large, I don't know what I'm doing. Only... God. They ended up seeing... there we go. They ended up seeing my research at a conference that I didn't even want to apply to or submit anything for because I was lazy. And like an hour before the deadline to submit the abstract was due, I got browbeaten. I got negged by my coworker and my boss to do it. And I did it. And like maybe that'll end up resulting in a job, so... Just stumbling through life, and I guess that's just how everyone does it. How does my boss decide what to work on? I don't know. The topic has changed a bit over the years. Well, like, I don't know. I had always wanted to just, like, do a bunch of dumb internet crap. And then just spend the rest of my life chasing likes and retweets. Because, you know, as a avocado toast latte sipping millennial, that's kind of the only proxy I have of self-worth. But now it's like, hey, you did some work, you should do more of this work. Hint, hint, wink, wink, so... I guess it's probably more important. I say as if I were actually streaming regularly for the past, like, 3 years. Social media more fun than science? It might be. I mean, I don't really have anything to tweet about, so... Isn't that what science is, but chasing references instead of likes? Yeah, I know, but on Twitter, someone can just call you a jerk, or like a piece of shit, or whatever else, and that's fine. In science, they write a paper explaining about why you're bad and your research sucks, and they back it up with data, and then they get it peer-reviewed by other scientists, and then they publish it in a journal to just make it official how much you suck. For all to see.
Counter that by setting them on fire.
That's a good point. Science, you spend a bunch of years doing the same thing to be told your conclusion's just incidental and then go back to beg for grants. Yup. That's science. Forever and ever. God, the amount of brain slice recordings. One of these days, I have to go through and just tally up the amount of slice recordings I've done, because it is in the hundreds. If it's 1,000, I would not be surprised. Oh wait, I still have to call my pharmacy again. Let me do that. I'll text-to-speech it in the meantime.
Hello, it is TDS Mayor. God, the pharmacy has like a minute and a half talk about COVID. And it tells you that you can type in your extension whenever. But when you do, it just restarts the COVID talk. And then they don't pick up. And every attempt at trying to talk to a pharmacist takes like 3 minutes.
Nice programming.
It is suffering. Anyway, hello. I'm not used to streaming. What do I usually do? The robocall is still going. Get in the hot up for donations. Oh, okay. Two. Please hold.
2ND place
Oh
metal.
boy. Two minutes in. Time to see if they'll pick up. Or if I'll have to wait again. Oh, oi shit.
Are they horribly understaffed or something?
Yes. They picked up. ZZZ. StereotoneTim for chat stream when. God, I wish I could change my looks instead of making a new character. Why? You have to wait another few weeks. I'm bored of the clown face with skin for a suit. No, I pick these up every 2 weeks. And have been doing so for a year or two. It's too soon, sorry, it's not. Please hold.
What have you been picking up?
Drugs. Your call is important to us. It's not. Grinning. Sad face. No, not grinning.
Why is 2
The
weeks
opposite.
too soon? Just sneak in the back and take the drugs, it's probably much easier.
God, it's just lidocaine cream. Can't you make your own by now, Tim? It won't be as creamy. I'm a scientist, not a creamologist. Hello. Guess who's on hold with the pharmacy? And is the mayor? Me.
How many times have you put on hold for?
Yay! I did it. Finally. You would think with the internet and all that good stuff, with computers and the internet, I already said that, networking, whatever, you would just hit a button. I was promised the future is now, but it turns out like, oh sorry, it's too soon to fill that. No, actually it's not, let me just try harder. Okay, now it went through. That's a vital step of any call to the pharmacy, it turns out. How much do you really want that lidocaine cream? Well, a lot, actually. I will hold for all of 7 minutes, thank you. Why don't they just automate calling you back? Because, let's be honest, when do you pick up your phone anymore? At least if they have me on hold, I know that currently being on the phone is not going to have somebody asking about my extended auto insurance or anything else. Like, there you go, I've already gotten my one phone call in where I'm pretty sure it's not a scam. Anyway, I'm going to mute the microphone again and go back to the bathroom, so see you in a moment.
Get a load of these guys with their ability to get calls. In my part of Australia I can't even get 3G.
Oh boy, am I glad to be back at The Sims Online. No, I'm not. Maybe I should just play Puyo? I don't know. Oh, the microphone's all the way over here. That's why it's so quiet. There we go. I don't know what to do with my time. The right answer is get all the data analysis that you've been behind on done, and then finish writing your thesis. The real answer is I'm just gonna arbitrarily click around in this until it's multiple hours later,
But
and
that
then
takes energy, Tim.
I don't know. Get my refills. I can't believe you've earned so much fun energy.
Jam for the fam.
Chose to cash it in on Sims Online. Wait, when did I get the fun energy? Is there like a tap I could open up and get a big glass full of it?
What even is fun energy and where do I get it?
Google Voice. Sorry, this is an iPhone only chat now. I've defected. Also, in practice, like, using this thing is virtually the same as like any other Android phone,
the
but
dumbass juice instead.
it is mini, so that's good. I got a free trial of Apple Arcade. I downloaded the app by, let's see, it's by some of the Final Fantasy people. What is it? Fantasian is the name. I played that for all of like 20 minutes and then realized, oh, well, that's a game on your phone anyway. It's like, sorry, I need immediate gratification. I could play a game on my phone, or I could just scroll through Twitter and then feel
Mobile waiting game where you
something.
are required to spend money?
I don't think so. It's supposed to be just like a PlayStation 1-esque RPG tribute sort of thing. No, it's The Sims Online, with the 3D mode and the 3D assets built in. Normally it would be in this isometric view, but they have programmed a 3D engine into it. So it looks sort of like The Sims 2, but it's actually The Sims 1 and The Sims Online version of The Sims 1, which means significantly crappier. But you can have a bad time with friends instead of a bad time
So
alone.
much effort for a game like this.
I'm glad someone put the effort in all honesty. You know, it's one of those relatively niche projects that gets a bunch of effort in, and if you are a fan of that specific niche thing,
I do
it
enjoy
is
The Sims
this
greatly.
incredible treat. You know, like, would I have ever played Sims Online otherwise? No, probably not. But, like, they've done a surprisingly good job bringing it back and introducing new events and new assets and everything. Core game, still not great, but, you know. This is probably the best it could be. God, back when I was
It is a
playing
great
this for the
series,
first time
but
on
they kinda
stream,
dumpster trashed it.
I remember
Now
being
it was running on
fascinated
Sims 2.
by being able to put the McDonald's stands down, and then none of them worked. And then they finally got the McDonald's things to work, and that was sort of exciting. But they've also done so much more with the game since then that, you know, you kind of forget just how incredibly broken everything was at first. I don't mind Twitter anymore now that I turned off everyone's retweets. Wow. Well, okay. I'm gonna go hang out in the corner and not talk to anybody here at this party. Everyone's retweeting. And I'm over here. Alone. Do I still have the cats, or do they all phase out of the map? I think there's like 2, yeah. That's it. The other, like, 5 fell into some time hole. Did I ever win any more awards? Nope. But they don't give out the little model properties anymore for trophies anymore, anyway. So I don't really feel like I'm missing out. I already got the best award that they don't give out.
Too much work to make them, I guess.
Yeah, probably. Or they realized that because the substandard hotel is not entered in that award ceremony, that there's really no point in making models for any of the other properties because they're just nowhere near as exciting. Oh god. Everything in the business center is broken. How am I gonna send a fax like this? What is there to do? That's not The Sims Online. Bad news, I've played it for an hour so far. It has not gotten more enjoyable. Gunbound! Maybe. Sims busting out. Is that the PlayStation game? I cannot remember. The new Gabagools. Is that out on Steam? I saw on the Switch that they have like Capcom Museum or something like that. And they have an option that lets you buy the original arcade Ghouls and Ghosts, except you go to the store and it says, oh, it's not available.
Open
Like,
TV,
okay.
It's on Steam now.
Why not? Nope, didn't say Cortana. Did you just pop up the screen thing and... Ugh, God. Go away. What was I saying? I don't know. Ghouls and Ghosts, the original one, is on the Switch eShop, but also I cannot seem to buy it. It was a limited time deal. Oh man, God forbid somebody wants to pay money for this 33-year-old arcade game. Can't let them do that. Built a software radio, and the first thing he threw in was an AM transmission of the 2-hour City Pop mix. I listened to that again, actually, last week, I think, when I was doing some brain recordings. It's not that bad. Some of the cuts between tracks are not ideal, but I don't know what I'm doing.
It's already bad enough that Nintendo released 3
It's good road
ROMs
trip
as a
music.
collection for a limeated time.
A limeated time?
Limeated.
What is
Yeah,
that?
I have to play Hypnospace at some point. Actually, now I'm just wondering how my Neopets are doing.
Limated.
I say as if I actually cared to check. Oh man, Coffin. If you see me online, I am mad IRL.
Wow, is that Miss Rainforest Cafe?
Oh my god.
Never understood what you can do in Neopets. Nothing. Hey, here's your Tamagotchi JPEG. Sometimes it starves to death, and you have to go and get free soup kitchen money. And if you don't want to do that, you could play a bunch of crappy Flash games and get fake currency to then buy more fake crap, and then...
Neopets was made in the early days
Ugh.
of the internet.
It was surprisingly comprehensive, though,
This
like
is
the
a very
auction system and
substandard
everything.
hotel. I feel like I'm gonna get shot just
My parents
standing
used to
here.
get a bunch of
Feels bad
emails
that it
from like
starves to
things
death
I bid
forever.
on in-game and thought I was spending real money. Joke's on them, I don't have any.
Wow. Put your cash in the tip jar and nobody gets hurt. It was voted the #1 casino in 2018. Which it still is.
You remember when your father,
I
in
was
order to
voted
punish you,
master of
removed your
ceremonies in
RuneScape subscription?
2020. Everyone loves me.
But are you the mayor?
I don't know if that really counts as being punished if they take away your RuneScape subscription.
Unofficial mayor.
It's like, oh, thanks. You've saved me from myself.
Obviously. Just like Shane.
Playing this great Java applet. Are you setting my property on fire? Yay. That's also my reaction to seeing my house
Do you
explode.
have a RuneScape addiction Reddit just like they have with WoW?
Probably, but it's also probably a lot sadder. You know, it's like going to Alcoholics Anonymous versus like Glue Sniffers Anonymous or something. There's this additional aspect of shame to having a RuneScape addiction. I say, having not actually really played either. That was a noise. Could play Puyo. I don't know what to spend my time on.
Don't
Which of-
worry, Tim.
Which of the, like, 4 video games I play semi-regularly on this channel should I play today? I noticed that For some reason, I'd been subscribed to Food Lime, but not subscribed to Food Use, and all of a sudden he started uploading a bunch of new videos to Food Lime. I don't know if they're different than the ones on Food Use, but YouTube has been trying to get me to watch them, and I haven't. They all seem very depressing. He's back on one of the accounts. I don't know. Oh yeah, somebody
as you can tell, I'm very busy.
mentioned that there's a third Emily is away, but like I never used 2008 Facebook or 2021 Facebook or any of that. You know, it's like I'm aware of it, but I don't know if it would be quite as nostalgia-inducing as the old AIM interface and everything.
Is this a casino?
Yes.
Yes.
Where is
Number
the
one
casino
casino,
aspect?
actually.
All I see is a slum.
Second floor. Over here. Next to the slum.
I have to go up to get to the casino.
Yes. That's why it is number one. It isn't number one ST floor. You can look down on all the plebs. I do.
I played Super Mario RPG and the 2 Paper Mario games. And then the 3DS Paper Mario
This room is
game,
a
which
fire
was
hazard.
not great, but I still played it. I have not played
There's
the new
smoke
ones.
everywhere.
Blaze it.
Been meaning to replay Paper Mario. There's that guy that made all the Paper Mario videos, like, doing this arbitrary thing, crashes Paper Mario, and then he just disappeared, and in Googling him, it turns out there was some, like, abuse allegations, or I don't know. Needless to say, that no longer scratches the urge to play Paper Mario. I think I would rather just play it. Without the looming shadow of impropriety or whatever actually happened.
That
Like,
was all my money.
I could read this massive pay spin, or I could just not.
I have nothing left.
Thank you.
If you
Would
need
you
money,
like
just
some?
hop in the jam dungeon.
Here you go. Oh, wait.
Oh. Let me give you Skrilla.
You think I'm that broke? Because I am.
Yes.
Let me just walk over here first.
What a day.
It's not free.
I'm the luckiest girl online.
You paid for it with your taxes.
That's it, hun.
It is.
This is chump change.
Oh.
This is bottom the barrel broke.
Thank you.
Well, at least there's a lot of jam money today, which is great for making fake money that doesn't matter. Yay! Oh, God.
There are misserums growing under this jam table.
Yeah.
I need to get the health inspector.
What do you mean fake money?
That's part of the psilocybin experiment.
Blazing. Also,
Mining for Jamcoin. Tell them to watch me on Twitch. Oh god, no. I don't want anyone to know about my secret shame where I talk about video games on the internet. All the nefarious things I've been up to. Actually, jokes on you, I've done very little. If I turn the camera around, does this make it look slightly more interesting and dynamic? Like, wow, something's happening! Oh, it's even happening more over here now, because... oh, it's nothing, actually. Never mind. Well, I better be a responsible homeowner and call the repairman.
This room is dark.
jam
I
point
feel
new
like
room.
I'm in a sweatshop.
Shoppo.
It's a dungeon, so it's supposed to be dark.
Fuck you.
Oh. Don't you eat this pie.
I will say in my defense that room does have maxed out room stats. So even though it's dark, I put the clown painting and the suit of armor. And now you just can't help but feel better when you're in their presence. Wow, a cage with a dead body in it. Mushrooms. Torches. That's great. All my bars are green now. Someone will be over later today. They say.
I'm scared.
No, they won't.
Someone just DM'd me,
It's the same.
saying they are following me.
The Dark Chow Garden is goals. I like the Dark Chow Garden because if you're Tails, you can stand in the pool of blood and then drown. Which I think might be the only place in that game you can actually drown, because I don't think there's water anywhere else, and only Tails is short enough to be submerged. Yeah, I don't think there's any other place you can drown in Sonic Adventure 2. You just, like, die immediately. And that's it. Like when you dig up skulls instead of pumpkins. I just ended up spending so much time inadvertently in the Dark Chow Garden because the Hero Garden had my one Chow that I liked a lot, and then would go and reincarnate into an egg, but I didn't want him to do that, so I just stopped spending any time in the Hero Garden, so then he would never reincarnate into anything. And then I just hung out in the Evil Chow Garden forever, and then made an Evil Chow, and then it crushed all the other Chow. Putting my beloved Chow in cryosleep. No, a Chow's like, it's ready to ascend, reach nirvana, become a bodhisattva, and all this great stuff. And I'm like, no, sorry. You can't go in the egg. You can't reincarnate. You're never going to be anything better. You're stuck right on the verge of the rest of your terrestrial Chow life. Have fun. Welcome to purgatory. And he's not even a good Chow anymore. Like, he was good in the early game, and, you know, being unable to upgrade him at all, or else he'll go into the egg, is just... it's just frozen that entire Chow Garden. I mean, not to say the rest of my Chow are getting a whole lot of daylight, living in my parents' house, on my Dreamcast, which has not been turned on in God knows how many years. Pit fighting dog for eternity. Actually, in the Dreamcast version, they didn't have Chow Karate, so it's only a pit racing dog. Excuse me? How have I been doing? Alright, I guess. It's been a weird month of weird things. From, like, personal crap to all the psilocybin I got in that study, to getting the paper published, to interviewing places. It's... oh, life comes at you fast, I guess. Slightly less exploitative. It always felt bad when they had those early Chow races where none of the Chow actually knew how to swim. And they would just get to the swimming part and you just see them all struggle the entire time. It's even worse when you have the only Chow that's capable of swimming at the time. You just watch everyone slowly fall behind.
Frowning face.
Womp womp. Miss my main streams with the shitty simulators. Yeah, I have to have more of those. There's a bunch of stuff I've been meaning to play, I just have been so involved with so much other stuff at the moment. I like how I'm trying to come up with excuses for not having streamed when it's like some sort of anomaly and not just a thing that I have been doing or not doing for the last few years. No, I totally would have streamed this specific time, not to be confused with all the other times where I wasn't doing it for different reasons, or... It's whatever, I'll get there at some point. And then, like, tomorrow morning, I have to go and get a lump cut out of me, so... if it's not one thing, it's another.
What kind of lump?
It's just a random lump on my back. I believe the official title is epidermal inclusion cyst. It's not like a major deal, but it's one of those things that, like, yeah, it's totally harmless and totally benign, but also, you know, I'd like to not have to worry about it. Or ever think, like, oh no, is my weird back lump getting bigger? Or any of that. So.
It's basically an annoying thing.
Pretty much. You know, for the sake of peace of mind, I might as well get it removed. Looks like an enormous pimple. It's not actually. It just looks like a bump. There's no, like, white head or black head or anything to it. It's just a little mound of regular looking skin. Do I really have to get the lumps cut? God, when the doctor came in the first time to look at it, she asked, "Oh, you want to get rid of this?" As if I would have ever actually said, "No, I'll keep it actually, thanks." You know, it's like... I guess it feels like how it would feel if you had to give up your dog for adoption. Like, oh, you don't want this? Really? Like, no, I don't want my back lump, thanks. Please remove. No, actually, I came here for advice on the best googly eyes to stick on it. You know, I want to make it part of my personal brand, and if I could have, you know, a wingman on my back, or whatever, so much the better. Personally, I want to see if they'll give it to me. Keep it in a jar. Raffle it off for whoever's subscribed the longest. plant it in the ground and grow a new me. I hope they open it up and then it's like one of those circus acts where they just keep pulling all of the like clown ribbons out of it. Oh, we got the lump, and I'm doing the hand motion of pulling all the scarves out. You can't see it because this is an audio program, but pretend it's very funny. Do some theater of the mind and imagine what I was doing, and then also imagine laughing at it. That would be great. Gamer back plus. Oh, God.
T3 subs can see your webcam. Subscribe today.
It never even bothered me that much until when I looked it up, they described one website and described the contents as quote-unquote cheesy. And I thought, oh, God. Well, now that I know this, I have to get it removed. Bodies are gross, man. My God. Well, it doesn't say dangerously cheesy. I think it's benignly cheesy. Join the skeleton army. Yeah, they don't get epidermal occlusion cysts. I don't think. They just get, like, bone cancer, and that just means more bone, probably. You just got your 5G upgrade. Congrats on... I was just complaining about how played out that joke is, and I regret making that joke. I regret putting it out there on social media that I think it is okay and funny to make COVID vaccine, 5G, Bill Gates, Corona jokes. That's my mistake. I am hereby apologizing for it now. I regret that joke. I regret how unfunny it is. I regret that it may or may not have led to people making similarly unfunny and played out jokes. I realize that I am part of the problem. And I'll take questions now. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Ooh, graphics. Will you ever hear TED Talk? Never! Keep them locked in the attic. Oh boy, time to sell my jam. Oh wait, that other guy left. Now I'm gonna take his jam. I got Pfizer. Pfizer. All the slides are done in paint.
I'm waiting for Musk's Starlink to arrive in my part of Australia. It's going to be good to have more than dial-up.
Do you only have dial-up in Australia? Also, I think some of those figures I ended up putting together, maybe not the ones that ended up in the actual paper, ended up involving Microsoft Paint to some extent. Get your first dose in a few hours. I mean, it's fine. It's just, you know, a vaccine. You've had shots before. It's kind of the same. The second one sort of sucks. Maybe take the day off. That's about it. So after the second shot, 12 hours later, I started feeling like garbage. And I woke up at like 4 a.m. with just body soreness and real bad chills, which I'd never actually experienced before, from like the flu or anything, so that was all new. So, I guess, well, slightly longer than 12 hours, because I woke up at 4 and then took the Excedrin at like 9. Anyway, whatever. Get the shot. If you need Excedrin, it helps a lot. The end. And you're free! 104-degree temperature? Dang. I think I just had like 100. But maybe I have a 104-degree temperature now and they never told me, I say as I look in my desk and can't find my thermometer under this pile of random garbage. Wow, is that $7 in singles in here? It sure is. Hey, what do you think my body temperature is? Is it 97 point something? It's gonna be.
Put that $7 straight into Dogecoin.
97.6? Wow, that's the same. There you go. Was that exciting? I'm leaving a pause after that so you can say, yes, that was fascinating. I'm putting the spaghetti into the jars and then selling the preserved spaghetti. You know how people have those heart rate monitors for speed runs or whatever that are just constantly pulling their heart rate? I just want one of those just for body temperature, and I'll stick it on the side of the stream. And like, will it change? Probably not. Is it interesting? No. But it's important that you know. I believe in transparency, and I think whatever my body temperature is in this precise moment shouldn't be a secret. I think you deserve to know as well.
I bet this jamming gets the heart racing.
No, we don't have the heart racing thing. It's only temperature. How do I plan on keeping the thermometer in my body during? Small implant. Actually, when I'm getting my lump excised, I'll have them implant the thermal probe. That's actually the reason I'm doing it. That's my cover. I should do that thing where every single time someone subs or resubs, you sing an entire 2-minute song. I'm gonna do it where anytime somebody renews their sub, I'll just tell them what my temperature is. Fostering healthy habits. Hey, thanks for the $2.50. Now you can know my body temperature is 97.8. Welcome to the temperature army. No, that's bladder. Toilet, bath, bed. It's part of being human.
Welcome to the thermozone.
Yeah, there you go. I kind of miss the hydrate bot. I don't know if it's been like perma-banned or something, but all Kelvin all the time. Yeah, you know, I could measure my body temperature in Celsius, or I could measure my body temperature in Celsius and add 273 to it. Why would I want a lower number when I could have a higher number? Checkmate. Your body temperature is 37. Mine is 300. Huh? What? Why are you walking away? No, come back. I have to... Well, there you go. I think it's 273. I haven't had high school chemistry in a while. I was watching some of those Nile Red chemistry videos on YouTube and just breaking out into a cold sweat when he starts talking about redox reactions and substitutions, and it's like, nope. Happy to have left the chemistry part of everything behind, because I have zero affinity for it. God. There's nothing creepier than just a naked sim. Well, I had to put something on the floor. That's always the problem with The Sims. You just end up making rooms that are too big, with not enough stuff in them. Like, so many lots in The Sims Online are just, you know, big, empty squares where they have some stuff, but not that much stuff, and everything is spaced out, and it's all weird. It makes, like, actually playing the game a lot easier, because if you have stuff in the way, sort of, quote-unquote, realistically, you just end up getting caught on every single surface and every single item, and then you can't walk past people, but it's like that in real life, so whatever. I think it came out okay. Oh no, somebody followed me on Twitter, and their first description on their About Me thing is VTuber. You have to out VTube them. I mean, this is VTubing. That's my avatar. Now you just have to watch it play, like, I don't even know. What games are even out anymore that people play? I have been, like, so divorced from Twitch and any new anything coming out, living in this
You could be a
time
in for chat, Tim.
void.
It would be great for you grinning.
It would be great for me. Thanks, Doctor. You know, I've checked your levels, and I really think we could improve your holistic health if you just had a little bit more virtual cat girl attached. Gonna get a second opinion on that one, thanks. GTA RP. I can't believe it's been like 10 years since GTA 5 came out, and it's still the newest one. Minecraft? That's topical. God. Minecraft probably is still huge, isn't it? I've graduated from Minecraft. It's called The Sims Online. Minecraft is arguably bigger than ever.
Hot tub just chatting streams.
Joke's on you, though. I've played it less. So from my perspective, it is incredibly marginalized. In fact, from my perspective, the only games that exist are Puyo Puyo and The Sims Online, and honestly, that's kind of the ideal world I'd like to live in. You program a Game Boy in Sims Online.
Beep. Boo.
Yes.
Okay, did it?
Final Fantasy XIV hot tub streams. I should probably load up Final Fantasy XIV again at some point. You want to see me ugly crying over the Shadowbringer story? I mean, I'm stuck between the main story quests and the first expansion, so you could watch me bored cry over that. Starts picking up around there. Yeah, that's what they say, but I'm just so lazy. Just inconsequential quest after inconsequential quest, and nothing matters, and it just keeps not mattering. And I know there's a bunch of additional content after that, but my god, it really just reminds you, yeah, you're in an MMO, and you're gonna do MMO things. Any of that suspension of disbelief that you might have actually been having some sort of grand adventure, like, no, throw that away, down the drain. You were collecting 20 MacGuffins that drop from this thing, and then you will bring them back here, and then you will do it again. Except this time it's for a slightly different reason. The medicated. Pray return to the waking sands. Oh, God. Yeah, I can't wait to do that again. It is no Katamari Damacy Online. See, that would get me back into MMOs. If I consider trying out Phantasy Star Online too. It's full of terrible anime tropes. I don't know. I'd still be playing Fly for fun if they didn't destroy the server and sell it to some Korean company and then some other maybe Korean company and then decide not to tell you. So all of your stuff just gets wiped. I don't want to learn anything new. I mean, it's an MMO. You click on stuff until it's dead and then you type to people, and that's kind of it. Can't believe you had the audacity to shit on Final Fantasy XIV and then go on to promote Fly for Fun. Fly for Fun is dead, and I will ask you kindly not to take its name in vain. Okay? Final Fantasy XIV, I could be disappointed by and dump on because it still has the chance to redeem itself, probably. Fly for Fun is dead. It doesn't get any better. It's done the best it can. I didn't play Final Fantasy XIV when I was in middle school. Yeah, none of the F's in Final Fantasy XIV stand for fun. If it's so fun, why'd they make 13 other ones? Ragnarok Online is big nostalgia. Yeah, I think I played it a little bit in a private server. It was one of those things I always remember seeing on the internet, all the sprites and everything for it, and thinking that it looked pretty nice, but then it was a paid game. And they probably had private servers back then, but I was too paranoid about breaking the law. I'm just scared to leave the comfort zone of my hotel.
Now that's good fun.
At least I could be the mayor of my own fake hotel. In Final Fantasy XIV, I'm nothing. Oh god, yeah, all my old Final Fantasy or Fly for Fun screenshots that probably exist. Project Zomboid could be fun someday if they ever finish it. Oh, don't worry, at the rate that I'm playing games and going through them, they have all the time in the world. It's just like The Sims meets a zombie MMO. I mean, that's pretty much this game. Better click on the jam button again. I should eat something today, I guess. I should just stream myself writing my thesis. No, I shouldn't. Is anybody else just, like, entirely paralyzed when they're trying to write something and someone's standing over their shoulder watching? Like, I'm pretty sure that's gotta be a relatively common thing. Back when, like, my parents would do it, or back when I would occasionally stream and say, I'm just gonna write this thing, and then I get nothing done. It's like, I'm gonna type some word, any word, and God knows what they're thinking. I'm gonna let you down by typing the instead of and or something. Like, sometimes I'll think back to all the crap that I had to write in, you know, middle school and high school and college and everything, and it's just like the volume of work involved over the years for so much of my life is just wild to think about. Especially considering how little I do now. Also, like, actually writing anything by hand is such a weirdly uncoordinated experience anymore. Like, you write a couple sentences and then realize, oh, my hand hurts. Versus just taking exams and writing pages and pages, frantically trying to get any amount of information down in the hope that maybe they'll see it and give you 1 extra credit for it. And people pick up on it and make fun of it whenever you stream and type. Just make it your thing. Just make it like a 1920s carnival ad. Behold, the wonders of the amazing typo-inducing streamer. He reaches for the L key and hits the J key. Look at him go! Wow, The Sims. It's like every hour of this game is entirely able to be substituted with any other hour of this game. If you looked away from the stream an hour ago and then came back, you'd be like, yeah, no.
How's it feel to be
That's where I left off.
Sims player, Tim? Empty. In a good way.
And then at some point, I'll have to go and pick up refills. But until then, I could click things on The Sims Online. Or also assorted crap on my desktop, like this football, or this image of Sonic, or the No Tango Dinero guy, who doesn't loop properly. How's the mushroom trial going? So I am done with the mushroom trial. Now I just go back periodically so I can tell them how I'm feeling. That's pretty much it. The main study endpoint was 3 weeks in, and I went and told them, and that part's done, so now there's just a few incidental appointments. Can they give me another hit? Nope. You get your one trial of mushrooms. That's it. If you want more, that's on you. Womp womp. At least I got that published, or that paper published. God, it had like 50-something thousand upvotes on R Science. Not like that matters or really means anything, but I remember waking up in the morning when it got published and it got like 100. And I thought, oh, this might actually appeal to the kind of like internet gremlin that tends to occupy Reddit. Joke's on you, though. It was also made by an internet gremlin who tends to occupy Reddit, so yeah, appealing to the audience. The study gets the psilocybin synthesized from a lab, and the lab, I think, has patented that process. It's just pure psilocybin. They don't, like, give you chunks of mushroom and tell you to have fun. I feel like the effects last a couple of weeks. It's hard to tell. There's, like, I don't know, mood's a mess. Depression's weird. Everything about your perspective and outlook on everything can just be so radically shifted, either be it from depression or after they give you psilocybin or something. You know, it's just bizarre to see how much certain things can shift. Like, oh, actually, no, I'm not secretly an awful, awful person. Like, maybe a little bit. You know, and everything is not actually as overwhelmingly miserable and hopeless as I thought. Until, like, brain rot comes back in, and then you think, oh no, wait, what was I thinking? Upbeat me is totally wrong. Should be upbeaten to death, etc. So, that guy was upbeaten to death, probably. But yeah, it's neat, though. You know, I've never been so directly involved with anything I've ever studied before. And then, you know, it's also a very weird sensation of, you do a bunch of these experiments, you know, and you do them all yourself, and you do them in the lab, and it's, you know, graphs you make and only show people in the lab, or manuscripts you write and only show people in the lab, and then all of a sudden it's just this product that you put together, and then all of a sudden random dudes on the internet are commenting about it too, and it's all very neat and validating in that way. Let's see. And then, like, the day after our paper got published, another paper got published by the other big psilocybin group that showed that it is as effective as traditional SSRIs. So it's been a very psilocybin intensive couple of weeks. Wow, I misspelled that. Oh, it's on Bing. That's why I can't find it. I don't even remember what that was. What the title of the article was. No. Reddit psilocybin science. No, it's fine. It's not this one, but... That one's from 5 months ago. Gross. They got more upvotes than we did. That's okay. Whatever. Hey, look, it's us. I haven't actually read most of these. Some of them are very funny. Funny from the sense of just people who are arbitrarily so mad at you or make all these conclusions about, like, how you're part of some big conspiracy with big pharma. And it's like, no, I'm just a dude. And I just, like, show up to work and they pay me poverty wages and then I do science and then come home and drool on myself. The end. As effective as SSRIs. So the thing with that, actually, they found that it was not statistically significant compared to SSRIs, but it did perform better, just not significantly so. And they... they think they'd get a more significant effect if the study size were bigger. Which is kind of the problem with it. Yeah, sure. Yeah, this is the Carhart-Harris paper. Is it this? Yeah. One citing article. This just came out. Who's citing it? Back to the Future, the therapeutic potential of psychedelic drugs. Wah! Yeah, so this is the psilocybin study that they did in humans. For this one depression inventory, you see that it does better than escitalopram, which I think is Lexapro. Cannot remember. Anyway, it's an SSRI. So you see that it seems to be doing better, but not significantly so, but it is at least as good as escitalopram. It's Lexapro. Bam. But yeah, but the weird thing about this is that I don't know how they got a big drug effect from the SSRI after like a week. Like, I took SSRIs, I took a whole bunch of them, and I did not feel any better a week in, or 2 weeks in, or even 3. So the fact that they're getting such an effect from just regular SSRI dosing is kind of mind-boggling, but what are you gonna do? However, this is not our study. This is our study. I'll get my jam money, though. Let's see. They want to completely subvert the greatest insights it has to offer because they're so afraid of people getting high. Ah, you got me. It's funny because I just want to like reach in here and say, hey, look, one of the authors who did a whole bunch of work for this paper actually had a whole bunch of psilocybin in him. And like, I remember thinking after the experience, like, yeah, if I could have had this without the hallucinations, I don't even think I'd want to because they were so fascinating. You know, there's no like agenda to it. It's just, hey, if you don't necessarily need this part, yeah, maybe we should use that to make some new therapeutics. Etc., etc. I see it doing more harm than good. The insights and perspective, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I get it. There was one that called us a bunch of... I don't remember. like dumb idiot scientists or something, which I thought was great. I want to put that in my resume as my job title. The psychedelic effects are where the healing comes from. Yeah, well, you have your own peer-reviewed study, Buster. Oh yeah, this one too. You know, we actually wrote this paper to block psychedelic experiences because we're intent on keeping the pores working. You know, we want you to not be depressed, but we don't want you, or to get ideas above your station about the class system. Like, you're right, that's on me. I should have written that in the discussion section. I totally forgot to mention that that's why we did it. Oh, God. There were a whole bunch of other ones. I guess they got removed. Heroin has positive effects, too. Got him. Or we can keep the sessions, man. Why do you have to take the fun out of everything? Because, like, hey, bad news. You know, you gotta go to work. And if you have to take multiple days off to go and get dosed up with shrooms, like, it's not great. Whatever. Wow, you talk to mice? I do. I don't think you know how psychs work. I don't think you know how jokes work! They said one day apart, each of these comments. This is what's called microdosing. No, it's not. This is... no. Scientists can block psychedelic experiences. That sounds like a powerful tool. If you want to make the world a more dreary and materialistic place, hell yeah, dude. Absolutely. Yeah, also, like, certain people, if you are schizophrenic or you have bad bipolar, you probably should not have psychedelics because it might induce a psychotic episode or some sort of mania. And if you can avoid that aspect of it while still having it be an antidepressant, that would be pretty rad. Any medication, natural or otherwise, employed for the purpose of treating mental health problems should always be accompanied by some sort of level of guidance. It could be a book or a YouTube video. Yeah, I took all that Prozac and then watched YouTube videos about cats. I thought this is what micro DPSing was for. Great. Such a modern take on depression. Who wants to go on a spirit quest to make you come to face with the nature of life when you could pop a pill? Actually, that sounds pretty good. Because sometimes you don't want your ego melted and you don't want to spend hours crying about it. Oh yeah, this is me. This is a good guy. This guy just wrote this entire paragraph. No periods. It's one sentence. Studies like this that are simply not true. Okay, what? That make people go do psychedelics. It's almost like marketing. You guys want to make shrooms look so good when in reality it's not good for you. Whatever benefits you think you got from psychedelics, it's because you were feeling the psychedelic give you a rise of serotonin to make you feel happy. A lot of drugs cause your serotonin levels to increase. Like a lot of antidepressant doctors prescribe, they safely and almost bring back the normal brain chemistry in a human. When you're taking mushrooms, you are breaking that brain chemistry, you're changing the chemical makeup of your brain. What? So that's why you feel good when you take the shrooms. Microdosing is not good for you in any way possible. If you need help with your mental health, go see a professional. Don't let ignorant posts and people who think they really get a benefit from microdosing convince you that they are actually improving, when in reality they are slowly becoming crazier and crazier, letting the shrooms change the way they think. They should never believe this absolute nonsense. Microdosing is not a thing. I'm gonna peer review that and get that sentence published. No one in this thread read the paper. No, of course they didn't. I love it. Studies like this that are simply not true. I wish they told us that before we did all the effort in getting it published. Have the journal just get back to me. Sorry, this is simply not true. Next. Maybe you should do some mushrooms to learn how to use punctuation. Maybe you should actually try a psychedelic for your first time. You wouldn't be so ignorant the topic. What? Also, you still forgot a period. I've never been more depressed in my life than when I took mushrooms. Oh, I'm sorry. It's been the opposite for me. They always take the fun out of it. What? No, I just...
It's studies like this that simply need
I'm just a lowly researcher. I don't know what part of shadowy organization I need to be a part of, but... whatever. How can they tell if mice are depressed? Read the article! We tell you about that! Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, science. Oh, can I see the... oh no, these are all removed. Now I'll never know what they said. Is this it? Remove Reddit? Remove edit? Set it? Wasn't there like a deleted comment thing? Remove edit? Sure. Oh, that's kind of creepy. Let's see. Bottom. Aw, yeah. There's a lot of woo-woo types here thinking tripping on shrooms cures cancer. It's the opposite. Because they love getting high. Stick to the science, people. This is the science. I want this to be true, but at the same time, doctors will disagree. Will they? I'm a little bothered by how many internet crowds will argue about mushrooms and mental health because at some point some of them have something to sell you. Yeah, no, I am, it's me. I have all the mushrooms, actually. Oh, God. Classic Western medicine thinking. You got me. People have known this for years, but have they known that the psychedelic part is not... whatever. No, I'll never know what those said. Big Pharma won't like this, but I thought we were Big Pharma. No, this didn't really archive that much. Yeah, well, my dad works at the psychedelics company. They're coming out with the new pharmaceutical use on the Nintendo. It'll be great. I would love if Pharma could produce a psilocybin pill. They did. I took them. 5 of them. Welcome to our science. Oh. Deleted. Deleted. What? Last time I had psilocybin, I played Breath of the Wild on Wii U for about 4 hours. Ever since then, my neighbor's backyard Christmas lights have given me shrine flashbacks. The next morning, I started a journey through the worst sickness I ever had, 5 days of sleeping, not eating, and a high temperature. This happened before Christmas 2019. I lost my voice for a week after that. A coworker had the exact same symptoms, but 2 days earlier. I eventually finished Breath of the Wild before classes started up in January. I suspected it was mold on the psilocybin. I still have some left, but I'm terrified of it. Still haven't caught COVID, even though I interact with every functional group at my workplace, not getting the vax. If severe COVID happens, I am eating it all. Well, okay then. I see why I deleted that. No, somebody removed. What? Mice probably preferred plain water just so they knew that sugar consumption impaired hippocampal-dependent memory in their fellow rats. Okay, these are two different species of animal, but sure. Blah, blah, blah. I guess I've already seen these. Oh god, there's so many that got removed. So many great comments calling me a shill. Deleted. Bye. Deleted. Another week of repeat of this article that's been posted for years. It just came out! Like last week! Oh, for crying out loud, stop trying to make drugs acceptable, one word. In society, alcohol and tobacco was enough, and now weed is near as well. Oh, sorry. Wow, there's a bunch of dead comments. They're lifesavers. Source, they saved my life. Yeah, weed is nigh. It's gonna come and vape you. Someone explain to me how they test the efficacy for this in depression. I've always wondered. You can click the article, we tell you. You haven't wondered that hard then. My whole life. I just wish someone would tell me the answer. Blah, blah, blah. 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 Oh great, they're going to turn psilocybin into the next mass-marketed SSRIs without 80% of the benefits by removing the psychedelic component. Terrific. Hey, you know, it's still 20%, it's pretty good. They have to figure out a way to make money off it. Wow, you got me. Great. Guitar iPod. I consume psilocybin weekly. It is the thing I've been looking for my whole life. It makes me better. The end. Thanks. Well, whatever. Conservatives won't let you have anything unless they've sucked the joy out of it first. You got me. That's okay. Anecdotally, microdosing, blah, 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 blah. Oh, whatever. Anyway, science. Look, I drew that. Credit to me. Scientist slash mediocre artiste. I feel like it's a very bad look to then have your article get posted onto Reddit by somebody and then get in the comments and start getting in everyone's face. Like, no, it's not how it works, you... God damn it! You're so dumb! Like, all my comments to everybody would just be like, quote-unquote, read the article, comma, dipshit. And I don't think they'd... I think they'd revoke my posting privileges very fast. Because Because it's so irritating. In science, you can't say you're sure or unsure about anything unless you have data to back it up. And, like, you know, anytime I talk to anybody about science, anybody who's, you know, in the field of neuroscience or whatever else, you know, it's like nerve-wracking. Like, oh, do I know this? Am I up on all the lid? Am I going to say something that they solved like 15 years ago? And yet you can just like go on the internet and say all this random stuff and like no one checks you. And I want to be the person to check them. Here's why you're wrong. And not only were you wrong, you need to feel bad about it. That's how we learn. Yeah, science police. That's me. Whoop whoop, here comes the science police. Let's see. That's a good comment. Stupid goddamn researchers. I was gonna change my Slack title to stupid goddamn researcher. What else? There's this guy. Study has all the validity of singing to plants. You don't know if mice are happy. Like, hey, you can read the article. We talk about that. But thanks, internet dude. Yeah. Whatever.
I'm back. What did I miss?
Literally nothing. It's The Sims Online. There's nothing to miss. You don't think any of those commenters read beyond the headline? I mean, they obviously didn't. But
I saw you reading mean comments on your research paper.
it's true, I did. God.
You're just in time for jam.
It's studies like this that aren't true at all. But yeah, God, the internet's awful. Everything about it. Hey, what if we make all the worst, most bad faith assumptions about you and everything you've ever done possible? Well, okay.
It isn't true, so that is why it got published.
Yeah, actually, PNAS stands for the program of not actually science. And that's why it got published in that journal. Is the internet being mean to me? No, some people on Reddit said my science was fake. Yeah, the internet's being mean to science.
Dang fake news.
That's my second PNAS article, too. First one was on ketamine. It's funny, though, like, I think... I don't know if I'm going to keep researching any of the psychedelic stuff for depression or any of that after I graduate, but it's... I think, like, one of the first times with all the stuff I've been doing for the past couple of years and have been researching recently, where it honestly feels like, oh, not only is this sort of interesting and exciting to work on, but, like, you know, it also has, like, actual tangible benefits. And I think it's also because, you know, I'd gotten psilocybin in addition to doing the experiments, but, you know, it's like, hey, now you're in the cool lab where you research all the psychedelics and all these other things so people are less miserable all the time versus, like, we're reading this... Oh god, literally anything else. There was a, where is it? In PNAS, like, no offense to whoever wrote this, because I'm sure they're a very nice person, but regardless, I'm glad I got to work on this versus some other articles in this episode of PNAS, which, again, no offense to this guy, but his article is called Great Moments in Plant Evolution. No offense. I'm sure for the right audience, this is great. But also, like, I'm so glad I'm studying what I'm studying and not great moments in plant evolution. I want the article on, like, forgettable moments in plant evolution or something, but it doesn't even have any figures. How am I supposed to read this? Where are the graphs? Give me a bar graph showing plants by which one's the best. Most good on the y-axis. Hottest takes in plant history.
Studying psychobilin is pretty badass.
Psychobilin? I'm gonna study that now. Top 5 plant evolutions in the last 10,000 years. Number 3 will shock you. God. And who could forget when the humble oak tree first evolved 10 million years ago to have 2 leaves on every branch instead of 1. Now that's a great moment in plant evolution. And then I'd fall asleep mid-sentence at the end. The greatest moment of plant evolution is when they evolved to produce psilocybin. Bam. See the C3 plant grow up into a C4 hottie. Oh god, man, I have not thought about any of that stuff. You know, in high school and probably in undergrad, I had to sit there and remember the different plant things and all the various steps of photosynthesis and far red light and all that. And now, just whoosh, it's gone. I flushed it all out of my brain. Making room for things that do matter, like making fake money in The Sims Online. Not having to learn about nitrogen fixation or whatever. Mushrooms aren't plants. Oh.
Only the important stuff matters.
Okay, technically no, but... You ruined my joke. They're in the dirt, hence plants. Thank you. Worms are also plants. I mean, taxonomy is just all arbitrary, so you can make it whatever you want it to be. You're in the dirt, and you're a plant. Based on the criteria we're using to categorize things, you are indeed a plant. You've earned that one. That's a great moment in plant evolution right there. Is your basement a plant? Yeah, why not? It's in dirt. It gets watered.
Finally I can have photosynthesis instead having to do this eating stuff.
That's what I really should be researching. Like, can I just turn myself green at photosynthesize? Excuse me. Had a bunch of caffeine earlier. A couple of caffeine pills to get somewhat awake for the interview, and then it's like, well, that's it. Day's over. The university was closed for some reason in the afternoon because of ghastly, I don't even know. So it's like I have nothing else to do. So go pick up pharmacy refills. Why not just drink coffee? It's better for you. I'll have you know, as a scientist, I take the fun out of everything, according to Reddit, so why do we need the good-tasting aspects of caffeine coffee when we could just have the caffeine part upvotes to the left? But the real reason is mostly just I'm lazy, and I don't think I have any half and half left. I mean, coffee's probably better for you than taking the caffeine pills via, like, antioxidants or some other crud that's probably in it. You know, like the brown. I mean, the caffeine pills are just white. The coffee's brown, so the brown's got to be adding something. I don't get enough brown in my diet. But also, caffeine pill, you just eat it. You take one in the morning, and then you're done. Then you're awake. Have fun. See ya then, Zen. The antioxidants and tannins are irrelevant. I mean, yes. Are you wrong? No. Everything... Oh, God. Every time I see a product that's like, wow, it has all these antioxidants. It's like, great, yep. Everything has antioxidants. Like, every product that comes out now, they just write about all the great antioxidants and health benefits it has. You know, and it's like vitamin C or something. Like, great, I'm glad that has a bunch of vitamin C, but I'm sure I've already gotten enough, all that I actually need from something else at some point. So it's just more stuff to pee out.
Biological is another bullshit marketing thing.
Eating all the pro-oxygens you could find. Yeah, load me up with those oxidizers. I'm gonna go to an oxygen tank and just stick my face into it. Also, I've had to do a whole bunch of irritating stuff setting the lab back up again. Tubing and tubing fittings and everything is such a goddamn nightmare because the tanks have their own tubing fitting on the oxygen tanks and their own fitting size. We have regulators that plug into them, but they're all different sizes. And all the regulators that we have that are even the same model have different size fittings. And it's like, I don't know how to make any of this stuff stick together. It all looks like it should fit, but also none of the pieces line up right.
What a logistical nightmare.
It is a logistical nightmare. I had to take stuff apart that I had already set up and give the parts to someone else. Duct tape. God. I am terrified to work with those oxygen tanks. Or technically it's carbogen, it's 95% oxygen, 5% CO2. But, like, every time I have to bring one over to the lab, I'm always terrified I'm gonna drop it and then it's gonna explode or, like, shoot off somewhere. Every time I have to hook the regulator up to it for the first time, making sure that the connection's good and I haven't, like, cross-threaded anything so that it's leaking, I'm always afraid it's just gonna explode. And I've done it enough times, and I'm pretty sure that the company has all these fail-safes in order, but also, like, it's just a bomb. Literally, everything under all this pressure. And then at some point it's like, okay, now you have to turn it on. Knowing full well all the stuff that could go wrong. High-pressure tanks are pretty sturdy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happens if you drop it, if the top would fly off, or... Like, I'm sure, again, things are engineered to be relatively safe and all that great stuff. But also, again, just... You cannot make yourself unaware of knowing what it could possibly do if everything goes wrong and how everything is just under super high pressure in these tanks that get reused over and over and they come back to us a little bit more beaten up every time. You always get a little nervous using Cheese Whiz or whipped cream cans. See, that's what I want. I need one of those big oxygen tanks we have, but full of Cheese Whiz. Put that in all my brain slices. Instead of bubbling it with oxygen, we bubble it with Cheese Whiz. Imagine how the people working with hydrogen fluoride feel. Eh. Think of all the times that I've been stuck with random needles, so, you know, bitten by mice, whatever other occupational hazards that are involved. Needles full of Cheese Whiz. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I don't work with anything else. Put the syringe in the packet and pull up this giant, slow-moving orange glob. I'm gonna go back to the bathroom. Hello. Gonna go get some water. Again. Oh, my jam. Oh, that's not how these glasses go on. That is the, what is this toilet officially called? The in-house outhouse. I mean, I couldn't put any other toilet down here in the jam pit. Looking forward to any new game. I don't know. I beat the Link's Awakening remake after I had shrooms in the study. I actually had a desire to play something for once, so I played that. That was good. It's not new, but it is very cute also. Yeah, Tim is fine. Don't worry about any of it. Still have no idea what I'm doing. No, the study's over. Any psilocybin drugging up is now in my hands. Hint, hint, wink, wink. So we'll see. I mean, it helped. You know, and if I can get my brain back to a fairly decent place where it's not constantly worried, like, oh, I'm a massive screw up and everything is terrible, and, you know, the worst case scenario for everything, that would be nice. Like, it's kind of wild when you feel better how much it just feels like a superpower. Just for, like, basic things are no longer inherently stressful. Like when I sent my resume out and wrote a cover letter or whatever, you know, it's all weirdly stressful and whatever most of the time, but I just sort of sat there and did it and didn't feel, you know, a sense of dread or the sense of shame or embarrassment or anything about any of my accomplishments or non-accomplishments or any of that. You know, it's just like, yeah, I have to do this thing. I'll do this thing. I can divorce any sort of, like, emotional weight from it. You know, it doesn't feel like it's this massive, crushing thing that I have to get totally right or else. You know, it's just this sense of, like, leniency and lack of, you know, an automatic feeling that you're worthless or super guilty about stuff not being any better or any of that. You know, that kind of, like, clarity that I feel like I've gotten from psilocybin that, you know, it really just feels like this incredible power just by sheer virtue of your ability to get stuff done for once, which, you know, had not been the case for, like, the last decade or whatever of my life. Yeah, who knows? It has been a very interesting month. You know, either from, like, the psilocybin or, like, coming out about stuff to the paper getting published to, you know, the job interview, and it's like, oops, everything's suddenly very different, I guess. Maybe. You know, in a way that did not feel like things were moving, say, for the last few years or, like, all of 2020, which was kind of just effectively going nowhere for a bit. Although at least that year's a wash, and we can all just say, like, yeah, 2020, didn't get anything done then. Anyway. Yeah, it's definitely a good different. You know, I just have to see how things last, I guess. Do you have... No, you already sold yours. I wanted to steal it. Also, you have been bouncing off of this newspaper for the last, like, 15 minutes. And I can't use it because it's in use. Oh, wait, no. Now it isn't. No! Don't throw out my newspaper. That was part of the decor. I needed random crap on the table. Okay, fine. I'll get new random crap. Oh, god damn it. Oh, sorry. It's like a square out of the property you own. You can't touch that. No, you can. Also, that didn't always have the little mushrooms and whatever on it. Ah, fairy. Spelled in a very new agey way. Great. Pick that up, put it 2 feet away. Get back to your other dumb Sims Online stuff. Click the thing and then wait another 5 minutes. They are actually old agey. That's my response to your message. I'm not in the mood to work. As reading your message actually truly is work. God, this place is just broken. Every time you like zoom over to another part of the map and see everything load in and then just immediately catch fire. That's the Sims Online experience. Time to go back to the mayor's quarters and do... I don't know. Hey, at least the golden toilet still works. Priorities and all. Oh my god, move!
Everything is broken because it's the Sims
Oh my
Online.
god. Just go around her! No! That's more of a problem. Ma'am, please. I just have to... What? Oh, the other elevator's in use, so now we have to go to the other side. Oh, what? Wait, what did that say? Oh, just clean. No. Wait, no, go toilet. I don't know how to use the elevator. Go. Get in the... What? Just, come on, 3rd floor. Go in the up box. There you go. Now you can pee, which actually just goes right into the floor. I have to get my heater looked at some point so it doesn't keep making clattering squeal noises. That's my pee face. Ugh. No, we don't have any Beach Boys on this. We only have the band. No, don't wash your hands. No, empty out all the foam in the sink. You don't need any of that. Oh wait, since when did it say all this? Hey, welcome to the bathroom menu. Today we have veggies and cornbread. That's it. Here at the toilet cafe. Ah, good morning. Why is the maid watching me pee? Gotta wash my mime hat. Wow, it looks just like me. Ah. What grease paint? That's just my skin. I was born as an Italian mime. I'm sorry, it's not good enough for you, but that's just how I look. What? I can't shake hands with you. I have to sleep. Unless you have a very energizing handshake. One of those little buzzers. So my pharmacy gonna get back to me? Or do I just have to go? Probably just have to go.
I guess you just have to go.
Gotta know when to go. Hey, it's me, Lloyd Irving, beloved character from Tales of Symphonia. I started to play through that again semi-recently and
I
did
am
not
free
get that
from
far.
political prison. I now love capitalism.
And I love you. Mayorally speaking. Nice casino. Thank you. I'm glad you noticed the Z. Not many people do.
Oh yeah, the house that kills people still here. And it still works, even though the candy stuff is gone.
You hell. I knew player.
Roma S, retired king of trolls, 71 total bans from properties, most iconic troll is true story. Great. One thing you should know about me is that I really rile them up here in The Sims Online. That's right, sometimes I stand in the doorway when people want to get through. Knocks them dead. Hey, no laughing in the mayor's office. It's a place of government business only. You better be working on spreadsheets over there.
Yes, I am working on the spreadsheets.
Sad. Why no? Even.
Oh no.
I hope this room is safe. I am easily riled online.
I like how we have the polar bear just nipping at their toes. No security in the mayor's office. Get sent directly to the jam mines. You know, I should put the trapdoor and jail thing into the bottom of the jam dungeon, so when you get sent down the trapdoor, you're just stuck there, and then you can make all the doors that leave paid doors, so you have to go and make enough money to leave. But then that's just going to be the same as that money maze that I made. Nobody liked that. Least of all me. No! I was going to eat that. That's my 4-month-old gingerbread house. Oh, I guess I can just make another one. Can I not serve food because there's not enough money in this? Oh, I'll get this milk out and, oh, never mind. Let's put it on the floor. $7.35. Great. Are you still just holding this? Yes, okay. Oh, Sims Online, you and your wacky antics. Please come to the mayor's house and drink all the mayor's coffee and then pee on the mayor's kitchen. Where do you start to eat the gingerbread house? Ideally, you grind it up into a fine paste and then just put that on toast. How much do you have to pay to get a dancing fish man in the house? Not as much as it costs to pay to get the dancing fish man out of the house. That's the hidden cost they don't tell you about. Oh wow, wires. I have no idea what animation's making that sound. How cold is it outside? 53. Gross. What's it gonna be tomorrow? 64. And then 84 on Wednesday. Awful. Two inches of snow. I'm totally fine with it being cold, but if there's snow on the ground, that's even better. You know, if it's gonna be cold, you might as well make it novelty cold. You know, it's the one weather that you could actually throw at people, which kind of makes it the best by default. Oh no, they're throwing partly cloudy at me! Ah! Like, no, it just doesn't work.
Why is there a repairman not fixing anything? Union rules.
God, I have all these bruises on my legs. I'm just crawling around on the floor, hooking up stuff in the lab. Is that exciting to anyone? No, but I'm running out of things to talk about. Here's a fun game called How Many Dollars Are in My Desk? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. $7. I found a big pile of change in the lab that I stumbled on when I was cleaning out stuff. So I have a number of stupidly labeled drawers in my desk now, including this one, where I keep the spare bulbs and all the spare change, because you gotta keep yourself entertained somehow, and That's where all the spare bulbs and the big bag of pennies ended up. So if you ever break into my lab, now you know where like $1.30 and change is. The end. Gotta lock that drawer. Well, it has a sign on it that says danger high voltage, so ideally you would read the sign and not break into my space and steal my pennies. Oh, a valuable penny drawer. You fear no voltage. Buddy, we have milliamps in that room. Milliamps. It's current. Yeah, well... That's not the point. Well, I got a text from my pharmacy, but all they said was, hey, now you can get a COVID vaccine here. Like, yeah, I know. I have it. I've done that. Get my lucrative ketamine sales. I wish. I don't get paid anything. I mean, I get paid my grad school stipend, but other than that. Now, the pharmacy text should just be like, hey, you up to get your pills? Hey, are you up to get inoculated with the new COVID vaccine direct from Pfizer? God, apparently there's a factory that was making the Johnson & Johnson vaccine in Baltimore that just did such a bad job. It's been in the news for just how badly they've bungled it and how many doses were ruined as a result. Because, you know, it's what do you expect from Baltimore? Hark to the jam dungeon.
Contaminated doses? Jummy.
What?
Jummy.
If I go to Harvard, will I be able to sleep at night without the gentle sounds of cop sirens and gunshots? A coworker of mine was robbed at gunpoint last week. Like,
Jummy.
God, I cannot even imagine. Like, I've never had anything nearly that bad happen to me. But like, yeah, then he just like went to work. Just as if nothing happened. Like, more power to him. I think I would have just curled in a ball on the sidewalk, like, well, that's it. Can't trust anything in this bitch of an earth, you know? Never going out ever, but... I mean, he seemed to be fine. I mean, for me, it'd be like validating every depressive thought you've ever had. You're right, the world is terrible and everyone's out to get you. Ha ha ha. Now give me your wallet. But who knows? Yeah, at that point, if I were robbed at gunpoint going to work, I would just take the rest of the day off. Like, sorry, you had your chance. Anyway, I might come to Boston. I had an interview today with a research group at Harvard. And they were interested in my work. Which is, like, absurd to me, because I am not that interesting, nor all that smart. And some people like message me out of the woodwork saying, "Hey, yeah, we have some stuff that you might be really good at in your area of expertise." It's like, I have an area of expertise? I what? It's like sometimes I drag myself into work and then do some stuff, and then I come home and mope and joke about Oregon Trail and fart jokes, and like, it's not all that exciting.
Maybe they just want to kidnap you for your organs.
Well, I mean, you know, you don't want to. So, the thing that I'm trying to avoid is like research stuff that's interesting. Don't just go to like a university because the name is good. You know, because whatever. Then you just get stuck doing stuff that other people want that you don't really have a whole lot of interest in, and that's that. And not to say that I'm not interested in anything that they've put out, because it is very interesting. I had just gotten really into the depression research and all the antidepressant studies that, you know, that was kind of a fun field to be in. It felt like you were making a tangible difference to, you know, human health in some regard, at least. You know, it's like I still spend countless hours being miserable all the time, so if that, like, acts as any sort of impetus to maybe make the problem better, so much the better for that, but... You know, because it's even less about university name recognition, I think, when you're doing postdoctorate stuff, because it's really... People aren't going to necessarily look at it and be like, oh, that's a big university name. It's going to be like, oh, that's an important guy in the field. And, you know, maybe he's at an Ivy League and maybe he's at some state school, but the research is really good and he's influential. You know, you can't exactly judge it all just based on the credit of the university, because, you know, the university is this big teaching institution with a whole bunch of things to it, and you're just going to be in one guy's lab. So... You know, the reputation only really means so much in that point. I make it sound like, oh, it's just Harvard. Well, it's just funny because, like,
It's mostly
I don't
about
know.
networking those types of schools.
You know, as I mentioned before, like, this was a conference that I didn't want to go to, because I'd already gone last year, and I didn't get any new research done
with good news, everyone.
over the last year because of COVID. So there was nothing new to present, and I figured it wasn't worth it. I was getting my car fixed, partially. It's still a mess, but it does drive. You know, then I got back to my apartment like an hour before the abstract submission deadline had to be done. Wrote up an abstract, submitted it, you know, presented at the conference, like 2 people came. And, you know, months later, after the conference was over, maybe like a month or whatever it was, you know, they just email me, like, hey, we saw your research and think it's interesting and has a lot of crossover with our work, and would you like to, you know, or like you are somebody that we are looking for this.
Sweet, I died.
You know, and that's like the only time I have ever had anyone from a university or really in any context reach out and say, yeah, the stuff you do is kind of interesting and we think it's kind of meaningful and useful, so it just so happens that it happens to be a very well-known institution.
Repairing one of the 100 things broken here.
Can underpay you, make you lots of dollars from your research. Can be our wage slave. You do get paid a reasonable bit more when you're a postdoc, though. The salaries are set by the NIH, but I think it's like 50 something. Not like, you know, an incredible amount of money, but it's more than twice what I know or currently get. So I want to give you some life advice. You're 4.0 and some undergrad research experience. It seems like you're going to get rejected from every grad program you apply to. What? Who is receiving objects? Oh, this guy is still here. I thought he left.
Hi, is gift for you.
How do you know you're getting rejected from every graduate program?
You must
Because I didn't apply to any of them until like a month before all the apps were due, and even a number of universities had already closed their application period by the time I applied. So honestly, I just only ended up applying to stuff based on really what was even available. Got rejected from all that you applied to except for one. I think I applied to like 7 and I got into 2. Great, thanks. Where does this go? But yeah, like...
Most disappointing troll ever.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was supposed to have been that. Well, what is it that you want to research? You know, in the program that you got into, what do you have in terms of potential PIs, projects that you might want to be involved in, you know, topics of interest, any of that? Because, like, when I was applying to graduate school, I was still... you know, kind of recently involved with a lot of the charity stuff that we had been doing with the game marathons and extra lives. You know, and I was still interested in, like, the international development aspect of all of that. You know, and thought I would end up researching some very different topics as a result, but, you know, I just kind of ended up falling into the neuroscience track I fell into with the mentor I ended up contacting, you know, after I had already gotten into the program. And I guess it's working out. You know, it's definitely, you know, I'd like to believe a kind of mainstream, interesting thing in a way, you know, versus being like, oh, well, I'm researching this one specific mutation,
as long as you
or
enjoy what you do.
this one aspect of cancer research or something. It's like, hey, drugs, surprise! And actually, you know, it might have some kind of impact in the lives of all of us miserable internet gremlins. So that's kind of neat. The guy you're talking to does plant evolution. Oh, man! Is it this guy?
Do what we enjoy.
Is it the great moments in plant evolution guy? Come on, load article. Is it this guy? Great moments in plant evolution. Oh, God. Oh, wait, there is a figure. That's it. It's... it's like 5 paragraphs. Hey, you wanna know what the great evolution is? It's wood. That's it. This isn't even... like, centered or angled right. This... Ugh. Oh, you can't see it. It has scale bars, but they're not straight. It's like they just scanned it in, and it's just lopsided,
Man,
and
that
now
was a
it's
great
figure
moment.
1. That was a great moment. Who could forget? Wood spores. Kind of wanted to not go to the same schools you did for undergrad. Yeah, I mean, I ended up going to a school in the same sort of system, but not the same school. It was very nice, though, seeing people taking like an actual interest in the research and clarifying questions that people had or whatever on Reddit or other social media things. It's like, yeah, that's right. You think about my research. It's now a thing that I put out into the world. You know, and having any interest in it past, you know, my own social media is, you know, very flattering in a way. I don't think I'm famous in any community. I don't really do anything on Twitch, and the research is like, it's interesting. It's not going to make me famous. No one's going to be like, well, hey, you were the second author on that one paper with the mice and the mice pee and all of that. Like,
You are famous in our hearts.
there you go. I'll go to McDonald's and show them my second author paper and see if they give me a free Big Mac. No, I also drew that artwork of the mouse tripping. That's, well... Yeah, no, I'll get my credit card out. It's fine. Well, maybe I'll be more active at some point. It's just been busy, a bunch of stuff happening at
You were
once.
featured next to the greatest moment in science evolution.
They will ask you to fix the ice cream machine as the person there with the highest IQ.
No, I like the idea of it like, wow, I was reading about the greatest moments in plant evolution and I happened to see your name as the second author for the article after. That's incredible. You're 2 degrees of separation away from the guy that wrote about the greatest moment in plant evolution. And the answer is just wood. I have to Ring Fit again. I was playing the new game plus a little bit, though I wasn't streaming it. I don't know. It's kind of like the same thing. Ring Fit is now one of those games where you beat the final boss, but it doesn't save, or it doesn't save as being beaten, so you can go back and do it whenever. You know, there are like 2 categories of games. Games that let you save after beating the final boss and games that don't, and Ring Fit is not one of those.
Man, I was hoping I could do more dead than I can.
Oh no, it sucks to be dead, it turns out. But, I mean, new Ring Fit, New Game Plus is just, hey, Drago opens up all of the boss arenas as gyms, and you just go and fight him again, and then he's like, wow, that's a good workout, friend, see you next time. You know, it's like all the same assets, more or less all the same battles, just harder. But the writing is all different, and everyone is friends. So, whatever. I, however, listen to murder podcasts when I'm doing it, so much for friendship. Thanks, last podcast. Yeah, well, I have to get back into it, but I've just been busy. A bunch of stuff. Tomorrow, I have to go and get my lump cut out, and then they say don't do anything physically demanding for a bit so you don't disturb the stitches, so I guess I won't. I'll just have to... Well, no, I guess if I idly squeeze the ring, it probably will impact it too. I don't know.
Scoop the cyst.
Gross. Oh, pretty famous in the world of biofilms. Like Planet Earth? March of the Penguins? Do you get the joke? It's like films, like movies. Oh, wow. Today is April 22nd. Who could forget April 22nd? The 2-year anniversary of hitting the milestone of 69,420 miles on my car with 69 miles on the trip odometer and, like, no gas. 2 years ago to the day, this feat was made possible. Thank you. And maybe I drove around really slowly in a residential area until the trip odometer clicked over, but no one needs to know. I should eat more today than caffeine pills, huh? Yeah, my real accomplishments. Put that on my resume. Hey, guess what I made? Guess what I timed perfectly? You must hire me now. That shows planning and forethought. I have a Kickstarter to produce another Pepsi album. Oh god, there's so much other stuff I have to do. I have to make the Flash FM text-to-speech thing at some point. I don't know. Things that I say, yes, I need to do that, and then ultimately don't do that. Because I'm a lump of a person.
I remember the MIDI Vice City radio. You have been working on that for a long time.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it periodically. I don't know if that counts as work. You're never finishing Vice MIDI. Oh. Okay, I guess not. Etna's officially decided. Sorry, I was just about to do it. That's right, no, I had to pay in euros on some German crappy MIDI website just for the goddamn miserable MIDIs. And then somebody broke into one of the websites and just got me the files for free. For a couple of them. I can't remember. It's like SQL injection or something. I'm not a computer. That's the sound of me making jam. That was soba. I remember.
I guess that means the transactions weren't secure either.
I remember everything. Every arbitrary thing people in the chat have done. No, maybe not everything, but... I should get dressed and then go pick up that lidocaine cream. I'm too lazy to go to the pharmacy. Just call a drone over. Drug drone.
Drone delivery medicine.
The drone is the medicine. I gotta find clothes I feel like wearing. The answer is none of them.
Just wear the comfy stuff.
I'm wearing the comfy stuff. It's pajama pants and a t-shirt.
Problem solved.
When in doubt, wear 2B. It's too fiddly. All the feathers on the gloves just end up getting caught on everything, and then they break, and then you feel bad for wasting your money on some crappy cosplay on Amazon. Oh, thanks.
Just go goth mode.
I wish I had a goth phase in high school or something. Something when it's like socially acceptable to be some awkward goth nerd. Like now if I do it at 29, it's just gonna come off as pathetic. And there aren't even any malls around to just meander and look sullen in anymore, so... I'm just gonna loiter around the Jamba Juice until they tell me to leave.
Cosplay?
I did Morgan, actually, at some point, but I never posted it. It's one of the earlier ones. It didn't come out that great. Nailed that. And by nailed, I mean did not. Definitively. You're way too scared of being different to be cool. It's cool to be different. Also, eat your vegetables, etc. Ching, ching, ching. Good job. Why is shirtless Karl Marx just making jam with us? You wore a ninja costume for Halloween at your all-girls Catholic school for Halloween once. I used to be a ninja a bunch for Halloween. Like, we bought this costume one year, you're gonna keep wearing it, and I did. I think I was a skeleton for, I don't know, when I was 12, maybe? Oops, sorry. Dropped that pen. Borrowed the costume from a neighbor. It didn't smell great. God damn it, sorry. I'm twiddling with a pen in the background and occasionally dropping it. What kind of ninja? Like Naruto? No, just like generic ninja. Generic black fabric tied around you and like a black fabric ninja mask sort of thing. It wasn't great. It's not my favorite thing I've ever had to wear. And then at some point it's just like, well, I don't want to be seen by anybody in public ever, so I'm just never going to go trick-or-treating again. And good thing, too, because I haven't.
Did you ever dress up as Sonic?
I plead the fifth. No, I never did. The closest I ever got were those Sonic leggings that I posted on Twitter years and years ago. That is it. Applause. I should put that in the jam room. Didn't I write Sonic fanfics or comics? I did write Sonic, or make Sonic Sprite comics. My, very creatively named...
Eggman Taliban comics.
My very creatively named Sonic comic series called Sonic Adventures. That's right, there's more than one. It was bad. They're bad comics. I love how, no, they were all crappy and not funny, but I love how some of you still remember, and, like, independent of the stream, someone else has brought it up to me at some point recently, about the, like, Robotnik making the Taliban comic of the Sonic Sprite comics. Like, yeah, that's a thing. That's... When you're, like, 11, what's in your popular consciousness? 9/11, Sonic the Hedgehog. And when you're a child, it's like, yeah, these go together, sure. That works. Oh, is this it? I was gonna ask for a link. Oh, no, that's not the comic, though. What's the other image tagged with Taliban? Oh, yeah, there it is. It's not even funny. It was just... It was about, like, daily things that Robotnik does, and some of them are like, he eats a lot because he's fat. And then this other panel of, like, also he started the Taliban, because topical. Also, this is like a Tim Buckley amount of words explaining the joke.
Daily things like starting the Taliban.
Oh yeah, well, you know. I should have submitted it to one of those, like, books of kids' artwork for, like, kids processing tragedy or something. Or any of that. It's like, this is how I got over the trauma of 9/11. Making crappy Sprite comics. Also, there probably are new police sim games. I think about This Is the Police a lot. Because I remember enjoying that. It's like the right amount of busted and open-ended that you want out of a video game, but... how have things been? They've been. I've had a week, a month, where everything is weird and different, but not bad. Or a picture still featured for that game. God, dude, I get I get so many random Steam notifications just out of the blue where I never, you know, I haven't loaded up anything on Steam for a while. I haven't really bothered doing a whole lot of anything, but I keep getting notifications for, like, oh, these random Germans liked your police sim. Screenshots. I don't even know where to find them now. Yeah, it's like, hey, remember when I made this screenshot of my police superintendent, inspector, whatever? Because, like, you know who hasn't forgotten? It's Germans, I guess. I will say in my defense, I did have some good Autobahn police sim screenshots. The Germans just all over this. God. Oh, video games, you're all terrible. Every single one of them. magnificent forehead. Thanks. You too. Loading sim description. Oh, wait, is that actually the description? You got me, I fell for it. I should probably...
Has Mike Love released any new music lately?
Well... We didn't used to have COVID. I'm not saying that Mike Love's new musical output caused COVID, but I'm saying we can't rule them out as being related. I guess I'll go and put on clothes and then go and get my meds, because I'm not going to be able to do it tomorrow. My back lump. Now you know. About all my gross maladies. Oh, hey, free money. See if they can get a good picture of the lump.
Be like, hey, my fans want to see my weird lump. Quote unquote fans.
I don't even know if I have a picture of it. Even if I do, it's not going to be, like, great. I took a picture, it just looks like a lump. That's it. It's not all that exciting. Thanks for the updates. You're welcome. How does the ball pit make hot tub noises? Very wet balls in the ball pit.
The ball pit is a Reskin hot tub.
I know that, I was just making a joke.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's fine. Well, I'm gonna go find some clothes to put on and then go knock out my pharmacy
don't let the
stuff and
secrets
maybe
out like
eat
that.
food. Anyway, bye. Sorry for not streaming.